Hey there, y'all. We've got cause to celebrate today. That's because anytime there is more Deliverance available on vinyl for the first time, we've got cause to celebrate. And courtesy of Matthew B. Hunt and Retroarchive Records, we now have Deliverance's Assimilation album and the As Above, So Below album, both available on vinyl for the first time, which is definitely cause to celebrate. I just got my copies the other day, haven't even opened them yet, so they're still sealed. We'll go ahead and open them on camera and take a look at them. They are colored vinyls. And in addition to that, too, I've still got my CDs of both these albums, which I think are from 2019, that I had ordered, got sometime last year, I think, and put them on the shelf and haven't even opened those yet, too. So we're going to crack into both the CDs and the vinyl of these two albums and take a look at them. These are two of Deliverance's probably lesser known albums. They are for me, that's for sure. So we'll go ahead and take a look at them and give you a look at both the vinyl and CDs and talk about them a little bit. It's all coming right up. Stay where you are. Hey there, y'all. Welcome back to another Tim Talks Christian Rock. Tim Risto here. Hope you're doing awesome today, and may God bless your day going forward from here. It is so good to see you all again. I know I was out last week, knocked down pretty bad with some allergies here in Texas. Spring is hitting, and it is lots of pollen in the air, and it just knocked me out. Low energy. Just couldn't really concentrate much, really tough to do much of anything, so I decided to just lay low and work on recovering. But I'm back at it now this week. For those of you looking for new content from me last week, don't worry, I'll make it up to you this week. We got a lot dropping this week. This video here, of course, and then also the next Jerusalem album in my What's the Message series, in His Majesty's Service, their live album. My video on that will be dropping later in the week. And then early next week, I'll have a video for you all about taking a look at my Jerusalem collection on vinyl and CD. So those will be some fun ones. Also this week, my interview with C.G. Reich from Iron Wrath will drop. So be watching for that. That is an incredibly good interview. I'm so excited to share that with y'all. First in my new interview series. So check that out on my channel here for sure. All right, without further ado, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Take a moment to do so. Like this video, share it if you are so inclined. It is all greatly appreciated. All right, but today we are talking Deliverance on vinyl. As I mentioned in the teaser at the beginning, Retroarchive has released 2 more Deliverance albums on vinyl, which I think pretty well completes every album of theirs on vinyl. I think re-released on vinyl in some way, shape, or form. I know they've got their Live at Cornerstone that's pre-ordered, which I ordered that. That's coming out on vinyl. I forgot exactly when, maybe next month or so. But anyway, so pretty much every album, including their live stuff, their major albums anyway, have now been released or re-released, remastered on vinyl, which is really cool. So we're going to take a look at Assimilation, their album from 2002, released just this year now on vinyl, and also As Above, So Below from 2007, I think it is. Yes, 2007. So we'll take a look at both of these, and as I mentioned, the CDs, which actually they released these kind of these remastered or retroactive archives editions back in 2019. So these aren't necessarily new, but again, I bought them last year. I had them sitting on the shelf, so I thought we might as well open these at the same time. Can't believe I didn't open them. I've got them digitally and listen to them that way. But sometimes I don't always get to the CDs because I'll order so many at once, and then some of them I don't get to right away. But, all right, so let's start out with the vinyls. We'll go in release order, chronological release order. So let's start with this one here, Deliverance Assimilation, and crack into this. Got my handy-dandy knife here, so we'll go ahead and open this up on camera since it's still sealed. By the way, there's the front cover art. that great Deliverance cross logo, or cross from their logo, I should say. And here's the back cover art as well. And here is the insert, which includes, of course, all of the lyrics on this side. And looks like liner notes and credits, and that cross from the logo again on this side. Vinyl itself comes in a black paper and polyurethane sleeve, and this one is on this great green vinyl that ties in with the colors in the album art, of course, which I always love when they do that. Single color vinyl, Retroarchive logo on side B, Deliverance logo, and album title on side A. Looks really very nice and very clean too. Sometimes I get new vinyls and they've got little specks of paper on them from the insert or from something in the printing process. I don't know, but this one's very clean. Obviously, I just opened it, so I haven't listened to it yet. We're going to go ahead and open both the vinyls and CDs first, and then I'll talk more about the music and the albums themselves at the end. I will say, however, that, of course, these two albums are lesser known in the Deliverance catalog. I am not as familiar with them myself. I've heard each of them probably fully through about twice. Again, not these editions because I just am opening them, but have heard the music digitally before, but just am not super familiar with these particular albums. I suspect many, more casual Deliverance fans are not as familiar either. So it'll be fun to look at those a little bit, and we're gonna take a look at how a couple of reviewers on Angelic Warlord reference the music and styles on these albums. I think that's really helpful, and they do a great job of talking about that. All right, let's move on to As Above, So Below on vinyl first. This one, again, is from 2007. There's that great front cover art with the cross logo again there up top and below, here in a darker sky, and there below in over the waters with the more bright colored sunset or sunrise kind of look. On the back, seeing that darkened view with the sun. I guess the sun, not the moon. Sun there, and of course the track listing here. Neat thing here is this little statement here on the back that says, "We are slaves to the law so that we may be free." Very key element to the theme of this album. Very, very cool. So let's go ahead and crack into this one. All right, here, let's take the vinyl out. Here again is the insert with the lyrics all on this side. And on this side, we have, of course, some liner notes, credits, primarily credits, and then this great little photo collage, too, which the other album does not have. So this is actually very, very cool. I haven't seen some of these photos before. Very, very nice collage there. In many cases, on some of these retroactive and girder, vinyl releases, this is a limited run vinyl, I believe. I should mention that too. These are each only 200 copies of these albums. But on many of these, the inserts, besides the albums themselves, which of course are worth it for the music and being remastered and things like that, but oftentimes the inserts are just worth it in and of themselves because they'll have a great photo collage or great write-ups on them. So it's really cool that they take the time to offer such nice inserts like that too. All right, here's the vinyl again in a black paper and polyurethane sleeve. This one is in a nice, contrasting to the other album, and it's green. This one is in a nice blue, solid blue vinyl, which is really very rich looking. Again, tying in with some of the color themes of the album art itself. Side B, which I love the way they do this. Side below here on side B. Side A is side above, again tying in with the themes of the album, and assumedly, I believe, how they're spread across the two sides. So very, very cool. Again, very nice, clean-looking vinyl here on this one. Okay, so there you go. So there you have a quick peek at both the vinyl of Assimilation and As Above, So Below. let's go ahead and take a look at those CDs that I haven't opened yet, and then we'll talk about the music on these albums. All right, first up, we'll start with the CD of Assimilation, again going in chronological order, released in 2002 originally, this album. This particular retroactive CD was released in 2019. There's the back with the track listing on it there. We'll go ahead and crack into this one since it still is sealed. Again, I should note this is a Retroarchive Archives edition, part of that series. Available through Retroactive. Here you open it up. There's the booklet there, the CD here. Close-up look at the disc art for Assimilation. The tray, which has the cross logo in there again. And this actually isn't a booklet, it's just a folded insert. So cover inside with the lyrics and assumedly some credits and liner notes. I guess the credits and liner notes are just on the back. So very simple in its insert there edition, but still nicely done. Don't know if they intend to re-release a new CD to kind of accompany the vinyl release. Probably not, but who knows? At least maybe not at this time. But these are still very good editions. Again, haven't heard that specifically, so I can't comment on the sound volume of that CD as yet. All right, now we'll crack into As Above, So Below. Again, 2019 CD release, originally released. The album was originally released in 2007. So there was that front cover, back cover, very simple with just the track listing. And we'll go ahead and crack into the CD as well. Again, a Retroactive Archives edition on CD via Retroactive Records. Open it up, and there again you have the disc. And again, assume is just a insert, folded insert, not a booklet. Here's the disc art itself for As Above, So Below. Tray is very similar to Assimilation with the cross in there. And yes, it is a folded insert, again with the cover, front cover art. Open it up, the inside. They do have the photos collaged similar to the vinyl in here, so that's very nice. They're not in color, although I guess the other ones were in color either. They're more of a tinted hue. Here that's more black and white style. Track listing, credits, and any little liner notes on that side. And this here, which actually, if you take a look at this here, it says about the new cover art. In 2018, when talks of re-releasing As Above, So Below began, I spoke with Jimmy P. Brown about the layout for this project. This is from Scott Waters from No Life Till Metal Graphics. So he says here, he informed me that his original idea for the cover art back in 2007 was never realized. He said that he had an idea of a dark night sky over top of an ocean lit up with the sun and the Deliverance logo reflecting into the ocean. I immediately went to work on the idea, and within a few days I had a sketch I sent to Jimmy. He seemed overjoyed with the idea. So just a little bit of background there. He goes on to talk about that if you want to read that when you pick up your copy. I think it's a really cool design and really like it a lot. So that's a little insight into that. So there you go. There's the two CD releases from, again, Retroactive Records back in 2019 that are still available through Boone's Overstock for Assimilation and for As Above, So Below. And again, here are the vinyl releases for Assimilation and As Above, So Below. Just released just this week, I guess it was, or last week. So anyway, very cool. So let's talk quickly about the music on these albums. And in talking about the music, I want to reference Angelic Warlord, as I mentioned earlier, because I think they do a good job of describing really kind of the style of Deliverance's sound and music here on these two albums. As most of you know, if you're a Deliverance fan, you know, Deliverance has kind of transitioned styles throughout the years, starting with more, you know, kind of thrash elements, moving into more heavy metal, Jimmy P. Brown doing more of a David Bowie kind of sound, doing some kind of, I don't know, indie rock, and then industrial rock, as these albums are sometimes described, different ways. Everybody's kind of, hard pressed sometimes to put exact genre classifications for some of these albums. So I want to take a look at this quick. This is by Andrew Rockwell, who reviewed Deliverance's Assimilation. I just want to read a couple things of what he said here and kind of describing it. He says here that Deliverance's album Assimilation dutifully draws upon the electronic and industrial metal segments, where it excels. It's relatively and surprisingly capable in this regard, as found in its joining of metal and hard rock guitar signatures with the decided keyboard and electronic heavy production innate to either form. Founding member and guitarist, lead vocalist Jimmy P. Brown II provides additional detail in an interview back in the day when offering his thoughts in regards to Assimilation. There is going to be a definite electronic influence on the album, but I think to call it industrial is overstating. It's heavy organic groove with industrial or electronic layers. Further helping Deliverance achieve this end is the manner in which Brown brings a felicitous, for the genre at hand, doom-laden and melancholic, almost baritone style that has received comparison to a combining of Eric Clayton of Savior Machine and David Bowie. So I think that does pretty good justice to the music of the album. And again, I'm going off of when I last listened to it digitally, but I think that's really a very apt description, better than I could do if I just tried to describe it here on my own randomly. So I wanted to borrow from Rockwell there and from Jimmy Brown's own words as well, because I think that's a very, very great way of clarifying the music and style on this album. And if we hop over and look at As Above, So Below, also looking at Angelic Warlord and borrowing from Andrew Rockwell's great review there, he goes on there to say, I identify with As Above, So Below as a hybrid album to catch the best aspects of the Deliverance early old school material and technical metal of that to follow. It proves guitar-based accordingly, finding the duo of Brown and Phillips each at the top of their respective rhythm and lead guitar games. Plenty of crunch-filled heaviness presents, but also melody in needed portions to help it stand up under repeat play. So again, I think Rockwell does a really good job here of helping to describe the musical styles and nuances kind of this album and its appeal to the Deliverance fans from across the generations and who it's going to appeal to the most. But again, from my listening to it digitally, not too long ago actually, that again kind of fits, I think, and is the best description of it, better than I could do on my own. So really appreciate that, and I'll put links to Rockwell's reviews of those albums in the description down below too. But anyway, that's all I got for today. Just want to take a look at these two new vinyl releases and again, crack out my CDs, talk a little bit here briefly about the music. What do you think? Are either of these Deliverance albums favorites of yours? I know, again, I've mentioned several times that they're kind of lesser-known ones in the Deliverance catalog, but I'm sure there are some of you out there who really appreciate these albums, or these are highlight albums for you in the Deliverance discography. Let me know what you think. If one of them is your favorite or both of them, let me know down below. Would love to hear your thoughts on these albums. Again, these are not as familiar albums for me in the Deliverance discography, so I'd love to hear others' thoughts and opinions on these albums, what you think of them musically, lyrically as well, and how they rank for you in the Deliverance discography. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Anyway, I'll go out and have a great rest of your day. Listen to some Deliverance, make it Assimilation or As Above, So Below today. But above all else, remember, y'all, stay in God's Word. Blessings. Take care. See you next time.